THHN cable can be run without a sheath or conduit if it meets specific conditions outlined in the National Electrical Code. Regarding residential sub-panel installation, the NEC allows THHN cable to be run exposed in areas that are not accessible for storage. A crawl space that is not used for storage typically meets this requirement. Attaching the cable assembly to overhead joists can provide adequate physical protection and may satisfy the NEC requirements for concealed installations. Junctioning and relocating branch circuits to the new sub-panel is generally permitted as long as they are properly sized and meet all other applicable code requirements. A single number 14 THHN wire may be used as smoke detector interface wiring, often as described under NEC section 760.29. These installations must be in concealed spaces, such as walls or ceilings, or provided with mechanical protection such as a raceway. In summary, a cable assembly of 15 number 12 THHN wires and 2 number 6 THHN wires in the crawl space, along with a single number 14 THHN for smoke detector interface wire in concealed spaces, can meet code requirements. However, it is always recommended to consult with a licensed electrician to ensure compliance with local electrical codes and to obtain a permit if necessary. When considering the installation of electrical wiring, especially in locations like crawl spaces, several factors must be carefully evaluated to ensure safety and compliance with the National Electrical Code or NEC. These factors include the type of wiring used, the environment in which it is installed, and the methods of physical protection employed. Firstly, let's discuss the types of conductors. THHN, or thermoplastic high heat resistant nylon coated, is a popular choice for electrical wiring due to its versatility and suitability for various applications. THHN is a single conductor wire insulated with thermoplastic high heat resistant material and a nylon jacket. It is rated for dry and damp locations and can handle temperatures up to 90 degrees Celsius or 194 degrees Fahrenheit. However, THHN is not rated for direct burial in the earth, so it must be installed in conduit or other approved raceway systems if it is run underground. Secondly, regarding installation without conduit, the NEC permits the use of THHN wire without conduit in specific situations. One such situation is when the wiring is installed in a dry, indoor location and is not subject to physical damage. For example, in a residential setting, THHN wire can be run inside walls, ceilings, or floors without conduit, as long as it is properly supported and protected from potential damage. In contrast, in areas where the wiring is exposed to physical damage or moisture, such as in a garage or basement, conduit is required to provide additional protection. Crawl spaces present a unique set of challenges for electrical wiring. These areas are often damp, dirty, and difficult to access, making them susceptible to damage and hazards. Therefore, extra caution must be exercised when installing electrical wiring in crawl spaces. The NEC provides specific guidelines for wiring in crawl spaces, including requirements for physical protection, support, and grounding. If the crawl space is considered accessible, meaning it is used for storage or other purposes, the wiring must be installed in conduit or otherwise protected from physical damage. This may involve running the wiring along the joists or beams, securing it with straps or clamps, and ensuring that it is not exposed to moisture or rodents. On the other hand, if the crawl space is not accessible, meaning it is not used for storage or other purposes, the wiring may be installed without conduit, provided it is adequately supported and protected from damage. This may involve running the wiring through bored holes in the joists or beams, or securing it with cable ties or clamps. It is important to note that even if the wiring is installed without conduit, it must still meet all other applicable requirements of the NEC, including those related to conductor size, overcurrent protection, and grounding. Thirdly, considering physical protection, regardless of whether conduit is used or not, all electrical wiring must be adequately protected from physical damage. This is especially important in crawl spaces, where the wiring may be exposed to sharp objects, rodents, or other hazards. Physical protection can be achieved through various methods, including the use of conduit, cable trays, or protective sleeves. In some cases, the wiring may be run along the underside of the floor joists or beams, where it is less likely to be damaged. However, even in these locations, the wiring must be properly supported and secured to prevent sagging or displacement. Furthermore, any exposed wiring must be protected from abrasion or impact by using appropriate fittings and connectors. Fourthly, when addressing branch circuits, junctioning and relocating branch circuits to a new subpanel requires careful planning and execution to ensure safety and compliance with the NEC. Before beginning any work, it is essential to identify the existing branch circuits and determine their ampacity or current carrying capacity. This can be done by checking the circuit breakers or fuses in the main electrical panel and verifying the wire size of the branch circuits. Once the branch circuits have been identified, the next step is to disconnect them from the old subpanel and prepare them for relocation to the new subpanel. This may involve cutting the wires, stripping the insulation, and installing new connectors or terminals. When making connections to the new subpanel, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and the NEC guidelines for proper wiring methods. This includes ensuring that the wires are properly sized for the circuit breaker or fuse, that the connections are tight and secure, and that the grounding system is properly installed. Additionally, any junction boxes or enclosures used to splice or terminate the wires must be properly sized and rated for the application. Fifthly, concerning smoke detector interface wiring, the use of a single number 14 THHN wire for smoke detector interface wiring is generally acceptable, provided that it meets all applicable requirements of the NEC. Smoke detectors are typically wired using low voltage circuits, which do not require the same level of protection as higher voltage circuits. However, the wiring must still be properly insulated, supported, and protected from damage. The NEC specifies requirements for smoke detector wiring in Article 760, which covers fire alarm systems. This article provides guidelines for conductor size, overcurrent protection, and wiring methods. It is important to consult Article 760 to ensure that the smoke detector wiring complies with all applicable requirements. In many cases, smoke detector wiring is run in concealed spaces, such as walls or ceilings, where it is not subject to physical damage. However, if the wiring is exposed, it must be protected from abrasion or impact by using appropriate fittings and connectors. Sixthly, when discussing limitations, it is important to understand the limitations of using THHN wire without conduit. While the NEC permits the use of THHN wire without conduit in certain situations, there are several factors to consider. One of the main limitations is the potential for physical damage. THHN wire is not as robust as conduit, and it is more susceptible to damage from impacts, abrasion, or rodents. Therefore, it is important to carefully assess the environment in which the wiring will be installed and determine whether conduit is necessary to provide adequate protection. Another limitation is the potential for moisture. THHN wire is rated for dry and damp locations, but it is not suitable for wet locations or areas where it may be exposed to standing water. In these situations, conduit or other waterproof wiring methods are required to prevent moisture from entering the electrical system. Additionally, THHN wire may not be suitable for certain types of equipment or appliances. Some equipment may require the use of shielded or grounded wiring to prevent electrical noise or interference. In these cases, conduit or other metallic raceways may be necessary to provide the required shielding or grounding. Finally, regarding code compliance, it is essential to consult with a licensed electrician to ensure that all electrical wiring complies with the NEC and any applicable local codes. Electrical codes are complex and can vary depending on the location and type of installation. A qualified electrician can assess the specific requirements of the project and ensure that all wiring is installed safely and correctly. They can also provide guidance on the selection of appropriate wiring methods, materials, and equipment. In addition to consulting with an electrician, it is also important to obtain any necessary permits or inspections before beginning any electrical work. Permits are required for most electrical installations, and inspections are conducted to ensure that the work meets all applicable codes and standards. Failure to obtain permits or inspections can result in fines, delays, or even the rejection of the installation. In conclusion, running THHN cable without conduit in a crawl space is possible, but it is essential to carefully consider all applicable requirements of the NEC and any local codes. By following these guidelines and consulting with a licensed electrician, it is possible to ensure that the electrical wiring is safe, reliable, and compliant with all applicable regulations. The information provided offers guidance on installing electrical wiring in crawl spaces and other concealed areas, but it is not a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a licensed electrician before beginning any electrical work, and be sure to obtain all necessary permits and inspections. Considerations should be made for the environment if it is prone to dampness or rodent infestation. Local requirements may require running the wires and conduit regardless of the NEC allowances. Remember, electricity is dangerous and improper wiring can lead to shocks, fires, and other hazards. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the work for you. Always turn off the power before working on any electrical circuits. Use appropriate safety equipment, such as gloves and eye protection. Double-check your work to ensure that all connections are tight and secure. Testing the circuits is critical before turning the power back on. This will help identify any potential problems before they become hazards. By following these safety precautions, you can minimize the risk of electrical accidents and ensure that your electrical system is safe and reliable. Remember, safety should always be your top priority when working with electricity. When using THHN wire without conduit, proper support is crucial to prevent sagging or damage to the conductors. The NEC specifies requirements for supporting cables and wires in Article 334, which covers non-metallic sheet cable, also known as NM cable. While THHN wire is not technically NM cable, the support requirements are similar. The NEC requires that cables and wires be supported at intervals not exceeding 4.5 feet or 1.4 meters horizontally, and at intervals not exceeding 12 inches or 300 millimeters vertically. The supports must be designed and installed in a manner that does not damage the cable or wire. Various types of supports can be used to secure cables and wires, including cable ties, clamps, straps, and staples. The choice of support will depend on the type of cable or wire being used, the size and weight of the cable or wire, and the mounting surface. When using cable ties, it is important to ensure that they are properly tightened to prevent the cable or wire from slipping or sagging. Cable ties should also be resistant to UV radiation and other environmental factors. When using clamps, straps, or staples, it is important to avoid over-tightening them, as this can damage the cable or wire. The support should be installed in a manner that distributes the weight of the cable or wire evenly and prevents it from rubbing against sharp edges or other objects. In addition to the support requirements, the NEC also specifies requirements for protecting cables and wires from physical damage. This may involve running the cables and wires through conduit, cable trays, or protective sleeves. In some cases, the cables and wires may be run along the underside of the floor joist or beams, where they are less likely to be damaged. However, even in these locations, the cables and wires must be properly supported and secured to prevent sagging or displacement. When installing electrical wiring in a crawl space, it is important to be aware of the potential for moisture. Crawl spaces are often damp and humid, which can lead to corrosion and other problems. To prevent moisture damage, it is important to use wiring and connectors that are rated for wet locations. This may involve using THWM wire, which is similar to THHN wire but is also rated for wet locations. Additionally, any junction boxes or enclosures used to splice or terminate the wires must be properly sealed to prevent moisture from entering the electrical system. The NEC specifies requirements for wiring in wet locations in Article 314, which covers outlet boxes, conduit bodies, and fittings. This article provides guidelines for selecting and installing boxes and fittings that are suitable for wet locations. It is important to consult Article 314 to ensure that all wiring in the crawl space complies with the applicable requirements. In addition to moisture, crawl spaces may also be susceptible to rodent infestations. Rodents can chew through electrical wiring, causing damage and creating a fire hazard. To prevent rodent damage, it is important to take steps to protect the wiring from rodents. This may involve using metal conduit or cable trays, which are more resistant to rodent damage than non-metallic wiring methods. Additionally, any openings in the crawl space should be sealed to prevent rodents from entering. The NEC does not specifically address rodent protection, but it is important to use common sense and take appropriate measures to protect the wiring from damage. Finally, it is important to remember that electrical codes are constantly evolving. The NEC is updated every 3 years, and local codes may be updated more frequently. It is important to stay up to date on the latest code requirements to ensure that all electrical wiring complies with the applicable regulations. There are many resources available to help you stay informed about electrical codes, including the NEC Handbook, online forums, and continuing education courses. Additionally, it is always a good idea to consult with a licensed electrician to ensure that all electrical wiring is installed safely and correctly.